The NN Nano is a sampler like the NN19 or the NN but this sampler is built right into Kong, so you can define a sampled instrument for each one of your pads. Very similar to the NN the NN Nano allows different layers of sounds and 4 different hit types. After you define your layers, you can specify how the mod wheel and velocity affect the sound, you can change the pitch, and so forth. Let's bring in our first sample here, and we'll go to our exclusive drum sorted section and bring in the audio file for a tom. So there's our basic tom-tom. We can set the level, we can set the pitch, and we can even give it a hit name. And look up in our hit type area, there it is. Now we can specify a low and a high velocity and even specify alternate layers which occur at random. Let's add a second hit type. This time we'll choose a different type of tom. How about the hard knocks? And now, based on the hit type I choose, 1 or 2, a different tom will be triggered. Now, like the NN we can define multiple layers per hit type. So let's add another layer to our second hit type by clicking the Add Layer button. And now we have a new slot to add a sample. I'm not spending too much time searching for samples here, but you're getting the idea, I'm sure. So now when I play hard knocks, both of these samples trigger. But what if I only want them to trigger at certain velocities? Well, I can just drag the velocity or set it down below where it says low and high. And now one sound will trigger up to a certain level, and then another one will trigger. So a different sound based on how hard I hit the key. And there's no reason I couldn't have another layer and have 3 velocity layers for this hit type. And remember, you can have 4 hit types, each with multiple layers. So a lot of power in this little tiny sampler here. And then I have all these controls down here which affect all of my layers. I can determine how mod wheel or velocity affect the sound. I can change the pitch of my sounds. I can change the sample start or reverse the sound. I can add an amplitude envelope and change other settings. Now if I want to remove a layer, I just click the Remove Layer button. One of the things we'll be talking about soon is sampling, which we can do from Reason. And since the NN Nano is a sampler, we can sample audio right here and edit the sample. But we will talk about that later. Finally, as with all of our drum modules, we can add insert and send effects. Now what I'm doing here is adding some reverb and adding an overdrive. Typically I would put the overdrive before the reverb, but it gives you some idea of the type of things that you can do. So that's the NN Nano, and we'll look at Nurse Rex next.